Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I wanted to do a complete roundup of all of the newborn products that we've been using with baby Callie over the past 2 months. Now I have a lot of stuff scattered all around me and even more stuff scattered around the house. So I think this is going to be a long video. To make it more digestible, I decided to split the products up into different categories, and those categories are eating, changing, sleeping/lounging, playing, moving around, bathing, and then a miscellaneous or other category. I will leave in the description box below timestamps of when I talk about each of the different categories if you want to skip ahead, and grab yourself a cup of tea, a cup of coffee, some snacks. I'm hoping that I can get through this in an efficient manner because Callie will definitely need to eat soon. So without further ado, let's get into the video. The first category that I wanted to talk about is eating. Now, I feel like with a newborn, I spend most of my time feeding or thinking about feeding or washing bottles to prepare for the next feeding. So it's a big one. And just to clear things up, I breastfeed Callie at the moment. And we do give her the odd bottle here or there, so Dad will give her a bottle at night, and that kind of informs the types of products that are helpful to us at the moment. But if you feed a different way, if you're formula feeding or exclusively pumping, etc., then you might need different products to suit your needs, so just keep that in mind. So the first essential product that I wanted to talk about is a nursing pillow. This one I got off John Lewis. I will try to link it below. I know in the US the Boppy nursing pillow is a big one, but essentially a nursing pillow is shaped like a U and it wraps around your waist, and you can lay baby on it in different positions to figure out how to attach baby to the breast, essentially. I have found breastfeeding really difficult. At 2 months now, I feel like Callie and I are finally in a groove, and she likes the boob, she takes the boob well, she's latching well, and it's less of a pain to breastfeed. But especially at the beginning, having some support in the form of a nursing pillow was really helpful because it just provides a bit more stability when you're trying to position baby in different ways around the boob. And I think this is definitely an essential for a first-time mom. If you're a second-time mom, third-time mom, and you've got the hang of breastfeeding, then you might not need this. But for a first-time mom, I think having a nursing pillow has been a life changer. The second essential product in the eating category that I wanted to talk about are nursing bras. I have about 6 or 7 nursing bras now, and I think it's just completely essential because you're gonna need to wear a bra basically at all times because your boobs are gonna need the extra support. They might leak, so you're gonna need that extra protection, and it's just gonna be something that you're gonna live in, so why not invest in some good nursing bras? I have found the Bravado nursing bras to be the best. This one I think is called the Ballet. I have it in pink and I have it in black as well. Also, I think black is a good color because your boobs are leaky and black kind of masks the leakage a bit more. But I like this style where you pull the cups down rather than the style where you unclip the cups, and these are really comfortable to sleep in as well. So definitely get yourself some good nursing bras. And on the topic of leaky boobs, I think some nursing pads are also essential. These ones are bamboo and they're washable, and they just basically slide into the cups of your bra, and it captures any milk leakage that happens. There are also disposable ones that you can get that stick to the inside of your bra, so like Lancino does them. So I would say get yourself some nursing pads and, you know, figure out what works best. I quite like these bamboo ones because you can wash them and reuse them, and they're a bit more sustainable for the environment. Then for me, because of the way I feed, because we give Callie the odd bottle here or there, an essential has been a pump. This one is the Medela Swing Pump, and it's the single one. I kind of wish that I'd gotten the double one, but at the time when I was buying this, I didn't really know how much I would be pumping or how often. So the single one felt like the most cost-effective way to go to try it out. Do your research on pumps because there's loads out there. If you're in the US, your insurance will probably cover it, so look into that. But this has been really helpful just to clear clogged milk ducts if, you know, they're filling up and getting really engorged. It's been helpful to kind of stay ahead and build up a milk stash for when I go back to work. So I would say that having a pump is an essential, even if you are exclusively breastfeeding. The other pump that I wanted to mention is the Haka. This one is sort of a less invasive, or invasive isn't the right word, but it's a less kind of full-on way to pump, because this you just sort of attach to your boob. It suctions, and the suction is what pulls the milk from the breast. Some people are really good at using this on the other boob while they are feeding from one boob. I have never gotten that quite right. I don't know, the position that Callie feeds in is just not conducive to using this on the other boob. But this is really nice because it's really small and portable, so if I'm out and about, then throwing this in my bag and just sticking on the boob if it's getting a little bit painful is really helpful. So look into the Haka if that's something that you might be interested in. Then, in line with pumping, you are going to need somewhere to store your milk. And for that, I have found these Lancino breast milk storage bags to be really good. They're just these little plastic Ziploc bags, really secure. On the top you can label the volume, the date, the name, and the time that you pumped. And yeah, this is how I've been storing all of our milk. And then a pro tip for storing the milk and freezing it is freezing it while it's laying flat, because milk does expand a bit when you put it in the freezer, and then once it's frozen, storing it upright like this. And I find that you're able to get a little bit more efficient with storing milk. At the moment we have quite a bit of a stash built up, and the whole freezer, half the freezer is basically my frozen breast milk. So yeah, I would say get yourself some of these bags if you're planning on pumping. Then the next product in the feeding category are bottles. I would recommend starting to introduce the bottle relatively young in your newborn's life. Not super young, because you want to make sure that he or she is getting the hang of breastfeeding first. But we introduced the bottle pretty early on. I want to say maybe like 2 or 3 weeks in, we started to give Callie a bottle. And I think that that was a really good thing, because it helped her get used to eating from a bottle, and obviously I'm not going to be able to feed her from my boobs forever, so it's good that she gets used to eating from an alternative food delivery mechanism. So the bottles that we've really liked are these Komotomo ones. The Dr. Brown's ones are also really good. We also tried the MAM ones, and those didn't work out so well for us. So I would say get yourself some bottles and just experiment with them and your newborn, because different babies will have different needs, different tastes, different preferences, and bottle feeding is a little bit more of an art than a science, as is all stuff with the newborn. So get yourself some bottles and play around with it. Then finally, in the feeding category, I would say get yourself some burp bibs. These are the Aiden and Anai burp bibs, and they just fling over your shoulder like this, and then you can burp your baby over your shoulder. These are really good because babies spit up a lot. They just do, and so most of your clothes will probably be covered in baby spit up. This doesn't prevent it, you know, completely, but it does help whenever I remember to throw this over my shoulder. These are also really nice because you can also wrap them around baby's neck when you feed them. They have a little popper clasp right here that helps them to clasp around baby's neck. And they're just really thick and absorbent and soft, and I really like these. The other option that you have is to just go with a straight up simple muslin. We have, I don't know, about like 20 muslins, and we do cycle through them. We use muslins for everything, for, you know, burping baby, wiping baby's mouth, covering baby when it's a little bit cold out, use them as sheets in her pushchair. So I would say muslins are just really, really important when you have a newborn, at least for us. So those are all of the products in the kind of must-have eating category. Then I have some stuff I wanted to mention that I think are nice to haves, but not essentials. So the first one is a bottle cleaner and bottle cleaning brush. We use these constantly every day. Because we only give the odd bottle here or there, we only ever have to clean like 1 or 2 bottles at a time. So this is really helpful. It really does help break down the milk enzymes and clean your bottles really well. This brush, also super helpful. It's got a little thing at the bottom to clean the nipple or the nib out. So I would recommend getting these, but if you are formula feeding or using bottles more, then maybe it makes more sense to wash them in the dishwasher rather than wash them by hand. Then we also have a drying rack for our bottles, which is over there. You might be able to see it in the background. But once again, because of how we wash our bottles manually, having a drying rack is really helpful. Also, in addition to the drying rack, we have a sterilizer, which is the Tommy Tippy one. It's over there somewhere, if you can see it. And that, I would say, is also a nice to have, because obviously you can just sterilize things by putting them in boiling water, and you don't necessarily need a separate sterilizing machine, but it is really convenient to use whenever we do need to sterilize something. So just something to keep in mind. Next, I wanted to move into changing, because after you feed your baby, or even while your baby is feeding, your baby might poop, and you're gonna have to change lots of diapers. So in the changing category, one of the essentials that surprised me for us was a changing table. Now, I know lots of people don't have a changing table, or maybe you don't have space for a separate changing table, and that's completely okay. But we have found having a separate standalone unit for changing our baby has been really helpful for our backs, and it helps to organize everything. And that's been a really helpful product for us to have. On top of the changing table, we have a changing mat, which I also think is an essential, because you need something to put your baby on when you're changing them so they're not soiling bed sheets or, you know, whatever it is that you're putting them on. So changing mat, really helpful. Then on top of our changing mat, we have some bamboo liners that we'll put down. And those, I would say, are more of a nice to have. They're really good for our baby because most babies, I think, would probably hate being on a cold plastic changing mat. And having the liner down just makes her a little bit more comfortable. When we don't use the changing mat liner and we just put her on the plastic changing mat, she screams bloody murder. So I would say having some liners is a really helpful thing. So then you are going to need some diapers and some wipes. And for us, we have been using the Pampers diapers and the water wipes mostly. I have been trying to experiment with using some different wipes, but so far water wipes are our favorite because they're really watery, as the name suggests. They're mostly made out of water as well, so they're safe for sensitive baby skin, and they're not terribly expensive. But the thing I will say about them is I don't think they're biodegradable. I think they have like plastic in them and stuff, so they're not the most environmentally friendly. But just play around with different diapers, play around with different wipes, and find what works for you and your baby. Then another essential is nappy cream. We have 3 different kinds of nappy cream because somehow before the baby came, I went a little crazy and just decided to buy up all the nappy creams. So there's obviously the traditional Sudocrem, which works really well. I think this one spreads really well on even like kind of damp bottoms, which I really like. This one is the Weleda Calendula Nappy Change Cream. I love how this one smells. It's so gentle, it's fragrance free, and you know, it's just really nice, has that really like all natural smell. But this one doesn't spread as well on damp bottoms. Your baby's butt basically has to be like completely dry for this to spread well, so that's the one caveat with this. And then we also have the Bepanthen Nappy Care Ointment. So this is an ointment, which means that the texture is a little bit more oily, and this one also spreads really well on both dry and wet bottoms, and it's really, really good. So yeah, get yourself some nappy cream. You don't need to get 3 like I did, but if you do, you will go through them because you put it on during every diaper change. And so far, Callie has not had any diaper rash, so I would say the 3 nappy rash cream strategy seems to be working. The next thing in the changing category, which might come as a surprise, is a night light. I think having a night light in your room is definitely essential because in the middle of the night when you have to get up and feed baby and change baby, you don't want to be stumbling around in the dark. So having a little night light is just something that's going to make your life easier. 2 more things in the changing category. I think this is more of a nice to have, but it's definitely made our lives easier, and that is a diaper caddy. This thing's a beast, and we basically use it to organize all of our different diaper changing tools. So we have here our diapers, we've got our water wipes in one compartment, we have all the creams and everything in another compartment. So having some sort of organizing device I find really helpful, and this is portable, so if I need to change baby downstairs, if we're going on a trip somewhere, I can just grab this by the handle and take it with me. Then the last product in the changing category is a diaper genie or diaper disposal unit. We have the Tommy Tippy one, and that one works super well. You basically put the diaper in and then you twist the circle thing and it kind of seals the diaper in so that the smell and the gunk and everything is contained. And then you empty the bags after a period of time. And that's been really, really helpful. I mean, our room doesn't smell like poo, so it must be working. I don't know how people dispose of their diapers otherwise. I'm guessing, you know, there are other ways, obviously, but I think a nice to have is a diaper genie. Okay, are we powering through? Next category is sleeping / lounging. Now, when your baby isn't feeding, isn't being changed, he or she is going to spend a lot of time sleeping. So having some products on hand to help with that, definitely an essential. The first, and I think only sleep product that you really need is somewhere for your baby to sleep. For us, that was the snooze pod. You can see it back there. And the snooze pod is just a simple bassinet. I like that it has an adjustable kind of tilt, so you can tilt it slightly more vertically, if that makes sense. So rather than fully horizontal, it tilts a little bit like this, which helps with reflux. And our baby is totally fine sleeping in it, and it's just a really simple place to sleep. But obviously, if you co-sleep, which we sometimes do, baby might go in the bed with you, safely of course. There are also Moses baskets. The Snoo Pod, I think, is one that people really like in the US. So there's a variety of different places that your baby can sleep, but you really just need to pick one, and usually they are pretty simple and pretty good. So now that you have a place for baby to sleep, now I'm going to talk about all the stuff that you can do to help baby sleep better. So the first thing that helps with sleep is swaddling. Once again, this is one of those things that you'll have to experiment with your baby. Different babies probably prefer different swaddles. The ones that have worked really well for our baby are the Love to Dream swaddle. And this one's super easy for baby to go into. It just zips down and zips up, and it's also got the reversible zip feature, which helps with late night diaper changes. This one is unique because baby's arms kind of go up like this in them rather than fully down by their sides. But with that said, the other swaddle that worked really well when Callie was a little bit younger was this one. This one is one from Amazon by Little Seeds, and it basically wraps baby up like a burrito with arms down, and it has Velcros to make it easier to kind of seal baby in. So these two are swaddles that worked for us. Once again, feel free to experiment. We never mastered the whole swaddling with a muslin thing. Callie would always just break free of that, so these two swaddles have been really good for us. The other tool that has been really helpful with sleep is a sound machine. This one is by Hush, once again also from Amazon. I will link everything down below. And this one's just a super simple sound machine. I think it only has maybe like 2 or 3 sounds. We only use one of them. You just turn it on here. You can adjust the volume. It dangles off of one of the sides of her snooze pod, but you can also take it with you if you're traveling, which is really helpful. And it's also rechargeable, which I really like because I think some of them use batteries and seems a little bit less convenient. So having a sound machine which plays white noise or waves or whatever sound is really helpful. But I think this is more of a nice to have because sometimes if this is out of batteries or we don't have it on hand, I'll just play some hair dryer sounds on my iPhone, and that seems to work fine as well. Then the other thing you'll need for sleep are blankets. Pretty straightforward. Just get yourself some nice cotton blankets. When it's cold, put them on top of your baby because you don't want your baby to be cold. So pretty straightforward, some blankets. Then the one product that everyone recommended but that our baby just didn't get on with is this. The Sleepyhead. Or the DockATot. Or the Snuggle Me Organic or whatever. Basically it's this kind of sleep situation. It's got these raised bumpers on the sides that are meant to wrap around baby, and babies are meant to love this. Everyone told me that their babies loved this, but Callie just didn't like it. When we put her in it, she only stays asleep for like 15 minutes tops. When she was younger, she liked it a bit more, but now that she's older, she just doesn't want to be in it. And my theory is that our baby doesn't like to be kind of contained. She likes a little bit more freedom and space when she sleeps. But I don't know. I don't regret buying this, even though it was expensive, because how would I have known that Callie wouldn't have liked it if we didn't get it? And besides, maybe our next baby will like it. But I would just say that, you know, with these newborn products, people will tell you what their baby likes, but your baby is going to be a completely different person with completely different tastes. So just keep that in mind. Someone's must-have product might be your biggest regret product. The hyped up product that was not a regret for us though was this. This is the Boppy Newborn Lounger. This one, like I said, is for lounging. So baby will just kind of sit in this when we're eating dinner, or when, I don't know, I'm doing something and she just needs somewhere to sit. She seems to really like this one. I think it's because it's in a little bit of an incline, so her head's a little bit up and she can kind of look around while she's in it, and it's really squishy. It's got this handle up at the top, which makes it really easy to carry around the house. And yeah, I would say that this is also a nice to have because it is also a bit expensive. If you have money to spare, then I think having something like this is really helpful. The other place where our baby lounges is in her kind of rocker. Basically, having somewhere for your baby to sit when she's awake and when you're doing stuff is really helpful. Whether that be the newborn lounger, whether that be a swing, a bouncer, a rocker, etc. You just need one place for your baby to chill. So now I'm gonna move into playing. Now, everything that I'm going to talk about in the playing category are what I would consider nice to haves, because, you know, they don't need that much stuff to play with, and when they're young, their main source of entertainment and learning is you and your face and your voice. So just keep that in mind. But I did want to share some of the playthings that Callie has really liked. So the first thing that I would recommend getting is a play mat. We have a Baby Einstein one that has, you know, lots of music and dangly bits, and it's really good. But there's loads of play mats out there, and just find one that is within your budget and that looks fun for baby. I would say don't go with something that's like super minimal and like gray and white and black that goes with your decor, because, you know, babies like colors and they want stimulation, and as they get older they'll like all that stuff even more. So pick something fun and colorful. The other thing that we have that's really nice is just some big quilts like this one. This one has been passed down through my family for a while now, and just having a big blanket like this is helpful because I can just lay it out in our bedroom and she can lay on it and do tummy time on it, or if we go out I can lay it out on the grass for a picnic. So having some of these big quilts I think is really nice. Then for our baby, some of the toys that she's really liked are this black and white book by Tana Hoban. Apparently when they're young they don't really see colors, so they perceive more black and white and yellow and just sort of high contrast images. So this book just basically has pictures in it that are all black and white. And our baby, when she was really young, has liked just kind of laying there and looking at this, basically like the baby in the back of the book here. Also, Callie's Aunt Kelly, LOL, my sister Kelly, got her this sun toy from Baby Einstein, and it just makes noises and flashes. And Callie really likes this for some reason. I think she really likes kind of musical toys, and this also has this Velcro, which means you can attach it to the top of a pushchair or anywhere really. So these are two toys that our baby has really liked. The next category that I wanted to talk about is moving around, and this includes all of your big ticket items, so a pushchair, a car seat, and a baby carrier potentially. So for pushchairs, we have the Uppa Baby Vista. My recommendation here is just to go into the shops and wheel things around, fold them up, pick them up and see what's going to work for you. For us, we really liked the Vista because it has a really simple design. It's not too heavy compared to other models on the market, and we liked that it was a bit bigger, and if we have another baby, we could potentially do a 2-child on 1 pushchair situation. Then for the car seat, we have the Maxi-Cosi Pebble Plus, which has also been really good, but once again, do your research and figure out what works for you. I know some people like the Britax one, is it? But basically, they like the one that can carry through from infant to older baby, whereas ours is only going to be good for when she's small. I don't know the exact months on this. And then the third kind of moving baby around item that we have is a baby carrier. We have an Ergo Baby, and this one I think is more of a nice to have. I know some babies love being carried around. Our baby's a bit funny about it. We've only used it a few times. I think that maybe when she's older we'll use it more, or when Jack goes back to work and I'm by myself and we'll need more two-hand functionality, maybe that's when we'll get more use out of the baby carrier. But yeah, I would say that those are the 3 things you need. And then on top of that, having a diaper bag, having a changing mat that you can take around with you are also things that are helpful when you're out and about. So for us, like I mentioned in my previous video, we have this Skip Hop Forma backpack thingamajig. I like this. I think it's good, but you know, diaper bags are a bit of a personal preference for you. Find something I think that your husband would not be totally embarrassed to carry as well. That would be my recommendation. So yeah, have a diaper bag. And then also, this changing bag situation I think is really good. This one is also from Amazon, and it's basically a changing mat that opens up like so, and it's got compartments where you can slip your diapers and where you can slip your wipes, and a little zip compartment where you can put any nappy cream. And this is really helpful if you just have to nip out and you don't want to pack a full diaper bag, but you do want to pack some diapers just in case there's a blowout situation. So this sort of portable diaper carrier situation plus mat is really helpful. Okay, I had to take a break and feed Callie, but now I am back to finish off the video. Cold coffee, yum. Okay, now, where were we? I think I finished off most of the categories, only 2 more. I am going to pick back up with bathing. So we bathe our baby every night. I know this is kind of a matter of cultural opinion, I would say. In my culture, Chinese culture, and in Jack's culture, he's Turkish, it's quite common to bathe your baby every day, but I think in Western culture, maybe not. Maybe it's like every other day, or you don't want to dry out your baby's skin, etc. But we bathe Callie every day because she loves bath time. It's part of her nighttime routine. It really soothes her. So I thought I would go through some of the products that we use in the bath. The first thing that is kind of an essential is a bathtub, or a bathing place for your baby. For us, we use the Skip Hop one, which is really popular and we really like it. She seems to like it. I like how there's that netting in the back where she can sit, and I think as she gets older and can sit herself up, there are different ways to adjust the tub to suit her age, and I think it's a really good tub. Then when she's in the bath, we always have a small little muslin cloth like this to put on her belly, and that just keeps her belly covered. She seems to like it. It keeps her warm. This is just some kind of like muslin face cloths that I had from Emma Hardy. Bit bougie for a baby to use, but they're really soft and they suit the purpose. So rather than buy new muslin squares, we just use these on her belly. And these are also really good in the bath to kind of wash crevices, her neck, her face, etc. So having some little muslins on hand in the bath are really helpful. Then in the bath, we also use a little plastic cup. I don't have one on me, but any little plastic cup will do to pour water on her. So having just something that, you know, you can pour water on her with, especially when you're washing your baby's hair, is going to be really helpful. The other thing that we used to use loads in our bath, but have not been using recently, is a little water thermometer. This one's just a little B one that I got off Amazon. It was really helpful at first, especially as first-time parents, when I didn't really know what temperature the water needed to be at, to stick this in the water and it beeps when the temperature is too hot or too cold. So this is kind of a nice to have, but now that we're kind of used to bathing her and I have a better handle on the water temperature, I don't really use this anymore. Then in the bath, you obviously need some baby wash and some baby lotion. We just have the Aveeno Baby Daily Care one, and this one seems to be fine. She hasn't really had a reaction to it at all. It says it's suitable for babies who may be prone to eczema, which is really good because Callie did have some really bad baby acne for a bit, and I think this one was gentle enough to use on her. We also got prescribed some kind of moisturizing wash type thing. I don't have it on me, but we use that sometimes as well in the water because it's really gentle. But yeah, just having some gentle baby wash, definitely an essential. And then also baby lotion, which we put on her when she comes out. She doesn't always like this because it's kind of cold, and sometimes when she comes out of the bath, she's like already really hungry and she doesn't like being taken from the warm environment of a bath into the cold, dark environment of her towel. But we always make sure we lotion her up, so this set has been pretty good. Then the last thing in the bath category are towels, and we really like these types of towels. We have two of them. They're just big rectangular towels. This one has a little triangle pocket at the top that has a panda face on it that goes over her head, and when we take her out, we just wrap her up in it and dry her off like that. I'm sure you can use you know, soft adult towels. They don't necessarily need to be like baby related, but we found these ones to be really good. I think this one is from John Lewis, and the other one we have is from John Lewis as well. So some towels when you take your baby out of the bath are an essential as well. The last thing in the bathing category that I wanted to bring up are some cotton wools. Any type of 100% cotton wool balls or pads will do. These are really handy to have on hand when you don't want to fully bathe baby, but you want to maybe give her face or her mouth or her neck or her toes a little wipe down, top to toe or tip to toe or whatever the actual like terminology for it is. These are handy to have on hand because they're gentle, and it just helps to kind of use something like this to give her a little dab over. Okay, almost done. I think this is the last category, and this is sort of a catch-all miscellaneous category, other stuff that has come in really handy. So the first thing that I haven't talked about, which kind of an essential, are clothes, because you need to dress your baby. And I just wanted to talk about two broad categories of clothes that I think you need for your newborn. The first are these little onesie vests. This one is by Gerber. We really like these because Callie runs a little bit hot, and when she had her baby acne too, it was during the height of a heat wave in the UK, so we basically put her in these short sleeve vest tops for weeks on end. And this one I really like by Gerber because it stretches really open at the neck, so it's easy to get over her head. It's also just got these 3 simple poppers at the bottom for easy diaper changes. I like that it's white too because you can just do a whole load of white laundry. Even if it gets stained, you can put stain remover on it, and usually the poo stains and spit up stains will come out. So yeah, get some little vest tops like this. They're gonna be great underneath things or on their own depending on the temperature. Then in addition to those short sleeve vest tops, Callie has been living in sleep suits like these. Interestingly, everyone said that you should get ones that have the zips on them or the magnetic MISC that are magnets, and that will make diaper changing much easier. But we've actually found that we like the poppers. I know, weird. But I don't know, it just gives me a little bit more flexibility and control, I feel like. And the other thing to look for with these onesies, I would say, are to make sure that they have little scratch mitts built in. So you can see here that there's a piece of fabric that just kind of folds over her little hands. And that makes sure that she's not like clawing at her face all the time. So something like that is really helpful. So definitely would recommend getting yourselves some little onesies like this for your newborn. You don't need like fancy outfits for your newborn at all, because I don't know, like it's not going to be comfortable for them, and there would just not really be a need for them, I think. Then moving on, some other stuff that has been really helpful for our baby. One is the Nose Frida. Everyone raves about this, and this I would say is the one thing that I do think was really helpful for a baby. It's a bit gross to think about. It's a nasal aspirator, so Callie sometimes, you know, gets a little bit clogged in her nose area, and you can hear it at night too when she's sleeping, especially. She's almost like snoring. But this you use to suck out the snot from her little nose. So one end, the red end, goes in your mouth, and then this end goes in her nose, and you basically just suck, and it sucks the gunk out. And there's no worries of anything going into your mouth, because there's clearly a stopper here that stops anything from going up the tube into your mouth. But this works really well, I think, to get out the bogies. Then I think another essential to have is a thermometer. Callie just had her 8-week vaccinations, and she did have a little bit of a fever after, and having one of these baby thermometers was just super helpful to have peace of mind, to see how she was doing. So get yourself a baby thermometer. This one is by Braun, and it goes in her ear. You just press the button, really simple, and it's really good and really easy to use. Then we have a little bag of toiletries for Callie as well, and some of the stuff in here that we use regularly that is really helpful. Nail clipper, yes. Babies' nails grow really quickly, their fingernails, and they clog their face a lot, which is a bad recipe. So we use this nail clipper on her. I usually use it when she's like completely milk drunk and zonked out. So get yourself a nail clipper, but I know some babies are just fussy and not good with nail clippers, and I know some people prefer a nail filer, so look into that as well if your baby just isn't getting on with the nail clipper. And then we also use a little brush on her hair, but this is totally nice to have, because A, our baby has hair and lots of babies don't have that much hair, and B, like we could probably just use our hands or something else to smooth it over, but because she's got nice little hairs on her head, we use this to comb her hair after she has her bath, and she seems to really like it. Finally, the last thing that I wanted to mention are these big incontinence mats or pads. These we just got a pack off Amazon. We use these for bare bottom time, which we give Callie sometimes, and she really likes it. And these are amazing. Like, she's pooped on them, she's peed on them, and it doesn't soak through. So we basically just lay this mat out on the bed and get her little bottom out, and she can kind of kick around and do whatever on the mat, and she seems to really like it. So that to me is kind of a nice to have if you want to give your baby some bare bottom time, which babies sometimes like. Getting some of these pads or mats are really helpful. So that is it. That was a roundup of all of the newborn products that we've been using, and sort of a mini review of my thoughts on them. And most of the stuff that we got, as you can see, I would say has worked really well for us, and I would say is an essential, with the exception of the sleepy head, of course. But I hope this video was helpful to you. Let me know what baby products are essential for your baby if you have a newborn, or that you would recommend we look out for as our baby gets older. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching. Please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, etc. if you want to see more videos like this, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!